good morning. Today, we're going to take you on a driving adventure.
Yep, we are in Custer State Park in South Dakota, and we are headed out to do the Peter Norbeck National Scenic Byway. It is one of the 10 most scenic byways in our country, and it's made up of 3 different really cool roads, 2 of which Eric and I have already done before on our motorcycle, which is really the way to do them. But today we're doing them in the truck. And so those roads are the Needles Highway, the Iron Mountain Road, and the Custer State Park Wildlife Loop, where we're hoping to catch some bison and maybe some of those annoying burros that always want you to feed them.
So come along, let's check it out. Okay, we are coming up on the famous tunnel that is only 8 feet wide. It's 8 feet and just a couple of inches wide, and the truck is nearly 7 feet wide. So it is always a little bit tricky. I actually have to pull my mirrors in to go through the tunnel.
And you do have to be really cognizant about the size. Oh my goodness, there's a goat in the tunnel.
So this is crazy. A mountain goat is in the tunnel. I'm not exactly sure what we could or should do right now.
I don't either. I think we're just gonna wait till the goat is done licking the sides of the walls.
Yeah.
They do that to lick the minerals off of the granite, but he is in no rush to go anywhere. He is just licking away. Well, with some help from the people on the side of the road, they got that goat to finally move. He did not want to go. What'd you think about that, Jasper? All right, well, on down Needles Highway. We're gonna do some little switchbacks and go through the cathedral spires where we hiked yesterday and enjoyed the rest of our ride.
Just past the tunnel is one of many, many scenic pull-off spots, and there are lots of different places to park. Right now, fortunately, we're the only people here. Another good tip is to come do these scenic byways early in the morning, yes. Not only so you can see some critters, but also so that you don't have the crowds.
Yep.
Well, we're coming down off the peak of this Needles section. And before you go up that incline, and when you first go into Custer State Park, you go to Sylvan Lake, and they have a beautiful 1-mile loop. We have that on a video that we would love for you to check out, along with a video of Cathedral Spires Trailhead, and that trailhead is right after you go through all of the big spires and needles and tunnels, or the tunnel up at the very top of the peak. So those are excellent hikes to do. We would encourage you to check out those videos as well.
Here we go through another tunnel. This is the Iron Creek Tunnel. On all these tunnels, you gotta kind of make sure that you're really paying attention. There's no traffic cops or anything to direct traffic when it's busy. So you just kind of have to peek and make sure nobody's coming to make sure you are safe to travel through without hitting another car. Luckily, on either sides of the tunnels, they usually have little pullouts where you have plenty of space to wait your turn.
One of the things that continues to be impressive to me is the quality of the road surface. With all of the extreme temperature changes here in South Dakota and the heavy amount of tourist traffic, I wouldn't be surprised if the roads were kind of chopped up and rough, but the roads are very smooth and very few potholes, and it keeps it safe for all of the motorcyclists and other motor vehicles that have to come through here.
Yep, and I remember us even commenting on that a few years ago when we did come through on our motorcycles. We had that same thought. So obviously over the years, they are maintaining it. It's not just it's just been fixed now, so.
Well, here's a quick stop at the Hole in the Wall picnic area. And you know why they call it the Hole in the Wall picnic area?
Because there's a hole in the wall.
Well, there you go.
Well, we just finished up Needles Highway, which was spectacular, and now we're heading on the next part of the byway. We are going through the Custer Wildlife Loop, hoping to see lots of great animals.
Sometimes it's worth it to pull over at some of these scenic overlooks to catch a view like this. Well, we took a moment to stretch our legs. We pulled off at one of the overlooks. I think this was the Heady Draw overlook, and we're gonna walk out and check it out. We just turned in onto the lower loop of the Wildlife Loop Road, just past the Bluebell Lodge.
Yep, and you can already smell that this area is where the bison tend to hang out.
Anytime you see a bunch of cars pulled over when you're driving on a wildlife loop, usually is a pretty good sign you're going to see something fun.
And we are, because over on our left-hand side, there is a field full of bison, and there are even what they call cinnamons, which are the little babies.
Another thing we just love about Custer State Park is that it is a state park and not a national park. At a national park, we would not be able to drone, and we would not be able to take Jasper or any dog on a trail that is in the national park. Here at Custer State Park, it is legal to fly a registered drone as long as you keep your distance from the animals, and it is fine to take your dog on any of the hiking trails.
Yep.
So that is just an awesome fact about Custer State Park.
Yep, super dog-friendly vacation.
Okay, we're coming up on some burros, or as they're known, begging burros. They're not native to the area, and they like to come up to your car to beg, and we certainly will not feed them, but they are right here along the road.
He's itching on your truck.
Hey, that's my truck. Well, we are underway on Iron Mountain Road.
This road is just a maze of twisties. You're gonna have lots of little switchbacks. We mentioned that it has the pigtail bridges that we're gonna be going on, and it has several tunnels. Now, when you drive this road, you can go either direction, but the best way to do it is to go from south to north, and that's what we're doing, because there are 3 tunnels on this road, and there are some iconic views of Mount Rushmore that you get to see coming through the tunnels. So it's just incredibly beautiful, and I can't wait to do this road now for the second time, since we already did it on our motorcycles a few years ago.
Well, bring your binoculars, because that is your first glimpse of Mount Rushmore. So here we go through the tunnel. This is our first tunnel view of Mount Rushmore. Right as you come through the tunnel, you can see the faces staring right at you.
Well, we just pulled into the Norbeck Overlook, and we're gonna go check out the view of Mount Rushmore from here. So the Norbeck Overlook was a nice spot to get another good view of Mount Rushmore. Wasn't really able to get a good video of it because it's still too far away, but beautiful for you to take your dog, because that's the one way you can see Mount Rushmore with your dog. We just went through a little double tunnel and our first pigtail bridge, so that was pretty fun. Not quite as fun as on the motorcycle, but still neat nonetheless.
Yep. Now we're on the second series of split highway that we've come to.
Yep. On to the next pigtail. Here we go.
From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
All right, so we went through the last two pigtail bridges, and they are really fun and really spectacular. And that last tunnel that we went through gave a fantastic view of Mount Rushmore. It was a money shot.
It's amazing how the designers of these roads and of the tunnels were able to get this set up to where you come through the tunnel and it just frames Mount Rushmore perfectly. It's just amazing.
Yep, it's gorgeous. You've got to do this drive.
Well, we just drove by Mount Rushmore, and one of the nice things is that there are several places that you can pull off and take a look at it without actually going into the paid section. Now, the actual visit to the memorial is free, but the parking is $10 or $50 if you have a bus. So there is a charge for parking. We opted not to go in. We've been there several times. We highly recommend it. And if we didn't have Jasper with us, we would most certainly go again. There's a trail, a short trail that goes around the base of the monument, and it gives you some history along the way of how it was created. The next feature on our tour for the day is to head to Crazy Horse. We've never been there before. One of the good things is that they do allow dogs, which means we're gonna go check it out.
You bet.
Here we go. Well, we made it up here to the observation deck at the Crazy Horse Memorial. Parking was pretty easy. The complex here at the Visitor Center is certainly larger than what I expected. And I didn't know, and still don't really know, anything about the memorial, and was surprised to see that there's really not much of it completed at this point.
Yeah. They do have a movie that you can watch that's part of your admission fee. They've got a restaurant on site. They've got Native American storytellers and artists on site, and there's a sculptor's room, and those are all things that you can visit. We can't go in because we have a dog with those things, but you can, if you have a dog, you can bring your dog on site and on the observation deck. They just can't go inside any of kind of the finished building parts.
That's right. So it's interesting to see the progress. They have some chronology and pictures on the walls of the Visitor Center, and it'll be fun to see this project continue to take shape, honoring Crazy Horse. So that'll wrap up our time here at the memorial, and then it's on for more adventures. Well, it's been a fantastic and eventful day.
Oh my goodness, it sure has. This Peter Norbeck Scenic Byway is definitely worth the time. If you are in the Black Hills area, you've got to take this drive. You're going to see so many things, from beautiful rock formations to crazy tunnels and twisty bridges and things on the roads, to wonderful wild animals. And then if you decide to take the little drive in to Crazy Horse, that's the only thing you have to pay a fee on. You'll get to see that sculpture in action like we did, so it'll be neat to see that progress over the years. And you even get to see Mount Rushmore for free without having to pay parking when you do this drive as well. So it's really beautiful and worth the time.
We have a beautiful country, so get out and explore, because today is an adventure day.